Have you ever stopped to think that the energy from a punch, a fall, or even an explosion could be transformed into pure bouncing fun? It sounds crazy, but for one Marvel hero, this is a daily reality. However, what happens when this incredible power becomes a source of unimaginable pain, fueled by every blow he suffers? The answer lies in the tragic and fascinating science behind one of the most misunderstood characters in the Marvel Universe. Hey clickers, subscribe with the bell activated, comment with the content you want to see on the channel, and share this video to help us grow. Your support helps us a lot. Speedball's ability, the alter ego of Robert Baldwin, to absorb kinetic energy is one of the most unique and visually distinct in comics. His origin dates back to an accident at the Hammond Research Laboratory where the young student was trying to get funding for his college's physics program. During an experiment involving an extra-dimensional energy source, Robbie's body was bombarded by an unknown form of energy. This cataclysmic event did not disintegrate him. Instead, it established a permanent connection between him and a parallel dimension, a pulsating universe of pure, limitless kinetic energy. This dimension, sometimes referred to as the kinetic field, became the source of his powers. The protagonist's body functions as a living portal, a biological interface between our reality and this other existential plane. When an external force hits him, whether a simple push or the impact of a high-velocity projectile, this energy is not simply dissipated or absorbed by his tissues in a conventional way. Instead, his body instantly opens a channel to this energetic dimension. The kinetic energy of the impact is diverted to this parallel universe before it can cause significant physical damage to him. This transition is almost instantaneous, which explains why he can withstand forces that would be lethal to an ordinary human. Once the kinetic energy is absorbed and transferred to the dimension from which his powers emanate, it does not remain static. It is processed and immediately redirected back to our world, but in a completely different form. The energy returns in the form of colorful, bouncing spheres of kinetic force, the famous bubbles that surround him. These spheres are not mere visual effects. They are the physical manifestation of the absorbed energy converted into a kinetic force field that protects and propels him. The greater the impact he receives, the greater the quantity and power of the energy bubbles generated. This kinetic field creates a ricochet effect, causing him to bounce uncontrollably from surface to surface, accumulating and releasing energy with each collision. He learned to control this ricochet to move at high speed and attack his opponents with bodily impacts. The nature of his powers underwent a drastic and dark transformation during the events that led to the superhero Civil War. In a televised battle in Stamford, Connecticut, the villain Nitro unleashed a massive power explosion. Speedball was at the epicenter of the detonation and instinctively tried to absorb the entirety of the energy. The magnitude of the force was so overwhelming that it overloaded his connection to the kinetic dimension. He survived, but the experience deeply traumatized him and altered the very mechanics of his abilities. The connection to the kinetic field was not broken, but perverted. The energy that once protected him and manifested externally as colored bubbles was now internalized in a painful way. After the Stamford disaster, which resulted in the deaths of more than 600 people, including his teammates in the New Warriors, Robbie Baldwin adopted the identity of Penance. His powers, which were once activated by any external impact, now required a specific stimulus: pain. To activate his abilities, he began wearing a suit equipped with 612 internal spikes, one for each victim of the tragedy, which constantly pressed into his flesh. The self-inflicted pain became the catalyst for accessing the energy. Instead of creating an external bouncing force field, the absorbed energy now manifested as energetic blasts he could fire. Every blow he received and every peak of pain he felt only increased his power, turning his body into a weapon moved by suffering. This change represented a psychological inversion of his abilities. What was once an expression of joy and exuberance became a mechanism of self-punishment and torment. Over time, he eventually overcame part of his trauma and recovered his original Speedball abilities, demonstrating that the nature of his powers is intrinsically linked to his emotional and psychological state. The absorption of kinetic energy, for him, is more than a physical process. It is a reflection of his inner journey, from innocent joy to deep pain, and finally, the search for redemption. So, did you enjoy this deep analysis of Speedball's powers? We want to know your opinion. Comment below what you think of this power mechanic and what other Marvel character or ability you would like to see dissected in our next video. Don't forget to leave a like to support the channel and share it with your friends who are also comic book fans. Your interaction is what drives us to continue bringing quality content to you. Thanks.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards